Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, a devastating apartment fire leaves at least 19 dead, including children.
Oh my God.
Thick smoke trapping dozens in apartments and stairwells.
This is a horrific, painful moment for the city of New York.
The cause, a simple, everyday appliance. Some schools reopen as Omicron infections soar.
I'm a little bit worried because this new Omicron is spreading too fast.
What parents should consider before sending kids back to class. From the tennis court to federal court, Novak Djokovic pleads his case to defend his Australian title.
Skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink.
A Canadian kids classic goes viral.
Skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink. Skin-a-ma-rinky-doo.
Sharon and Bram on TikTok, decades of fame, and reaching a new generation of young fans.
It makes us feel wonderful.
This is The National. New York is in shock tonight after the city's deadliest fire in more than 3 decades. Flames racing through a high-rise apartment building. The smoke so thick, so widespread, firefighters call the conditions unprecedented. At least 19 people are dead, 9 of them children.
To see it in a mother's eyes as I held her, who lost her entire family.
It began in a 2-bedroom apartment. The unit's front door was left open. That allowed the smoke to spread rapidly, and it made it difficult for residents desperate to escape. Katie Simpson now with how this fire started.
Flames shoot out of the high-rise apartment building. A neighbor sticks his head out the window to see the imminent danger.
Oh my gosh.
Terrifying screams of panicked residents fill the air as smoke quickly fills the building.
It was just pitch black in my house in the daytime. The fire, they was putting out the fire, and all you can see is just black smoke.
Injured residents were placed on backboards and carried out by ladder. Firefighters went floor by floor searching for victims, dozens suffering from smoke inhalation.
This smoke extended the entire height of the building, completely unusual. Members found victims on every floor in stairwells.
This is going to be one of the worst fires that we have witnessed during modern times here in the city of New York.
Investigators quickly determined the fire appeared to be accidental.
It started in a malfunctioning electric space heater. That was the cause of the fire.
While authorities say the heat was on in the building at the time, it was known to have problems, and some residents may not have taken the fire alarm seriously at first.
Always hear the fire alarm going on, so it's something that we're used to. You know, how was you supposed to know if it's a fire if it's always going off?
This high-rise complex had everything from bachelors to 4-bedroom units and was home to dozens of mostly working-class, mostly immigrant families.
It is such a tragedy. Thinking of children, thinking of families, thinking of so many people in this building, immigrants striving to climb that ladder up and their lives snuffed out. It's awful.
Many of the survivors who made it out have lost nearly everything. And while lucky to be alive, they now have to find a way to start over. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
To the pandemic now, which remains in uncharted territory, and as the number of infections soar, in BC and Alberta, kids are going back to classrooms. The COVID picture has worsened with school out for the holidays, hospitalizations surging, and in some provinces breaking records daily. Case growth so rampant, it's hard to track. But on Monday, many students in Western Canada are heading back, others, including Ontario, holding back. As Susanna De Silva shows us, experts, educators, and parents are debating what's worse, kids facing more infection or more isolation.
Let's do the hair now.
Along with the refresher and snowman building, these kids are getting another lesson today.
Explaining him about the importance of the safe mask, always avoiding hugging, avoiding touching people.
He works full-time and his wife is studying, so keeping their son home from school isn't an option.
I'm a little bit worried because this new Omicron is spreading too fast. But life needs to keep going on, you know.
Some do not feel class is safe enough.
Until the peak starts to go down, because right now it's like almost at the top. The numbers are almost at the top, and we should have had more online learning options.
The BC government is promising enhanced safety measures.
There will be measures to reduce crowding, to stagger break times.
And 3-layered masks will be provided to anyone who wants them. But teachers haven't been prioritized for boosters, rapid tests will not be available right away, and N95 masks won't be offered, leaving some feeling nervous.
I'm concerned that we're asking parents to send their kids into a school where we're not quite sure what transmission is going to look like.
In Alberta, the situation is similar, and some experts suggest it could feed a surge among both kids and staff.
We're going to end up in this flip-flop scenario where we're in person and then we're online and then we're in person, and I think that's even harder on the students.
In Ontario, where schools will be closed until January 17th, parents rallied, saying the mental health costs of not reopening are too great.
Our children need to be back in person no later for all ages.
And some doctors say kids' exposure to COVID may be inevitable.
There is COVID everywhere. Kids are going to be exposed in school and outside of school. I think we need to try to focus on vaccinating the kids to bring them back.
This leaves parents across Canada with a big decision to make. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, let's bring in pediatric infectious disease specialist Dr. Jacqueline Wong, who is in Hamilton. And Dr. Wong, in British Columbia and Alberta, kids are going back to the classroom tomorrow and parents are anxious. What would you say to those parents?
Absolutely. I think it's important that kids across the country have the opportunity to get back into the classroom, right, and receive that high quality education. When parents are thinking about risk, I think it's important to remind parents that throughout the pandemic, COVID has fortunately caused relatively mild infections in the vast majority of children. And that's what we're continuing to see with the Omicron variant. Speaking about the Ontario scenario, when we look at our hospitalization rates and the types of cases that are in hospital, again, we're seeing that the cases that Omicron is causing is for the very broad majority quite mild. But how families make those risk-based decisions for themselves, I think you have to think about, are there conditions that your child has that might predispose them to more severe illness? Or is there a family member who lives in the household who's at risk of more severe illness? And then we have to think about, has everyone optimized their vaccinations to try to prevent those severe illnesses, reminding people about hand hygiene, wearing masks, and staying physically distanced from other people when you're out and about.
And what about masking? There's some people calling for N95 masks for kids. What's your view on that?
Yeah, so I think importantly, in order for a mask to work, it needs to fit well and the person needs to wear it. So N95 masks are not manufactured for a child's face, like a smaller face, and they are far too uncomfortable to be keeping on all day when they're in the classroom. So I think focusing on the principles of having a cloth mask where there's multiple layers, that it's well fitted and comfortable for the child to wear is going to give you much more bang for your buck than trying to go after a KN95 or an N95 mask.
Dr. Wong, thank you very much.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks for having me.
Some military help has arrived for people in Bearskin Lake First Nation who are in the middle of a COVID crisis, but the community says it's not nearly enough. Travis Danraj with what they need now and how others are stepping in to help.
4 local Canadian Forces Rangers on the ground now. 4 on the way. That's the help the chief of Bearskin Lake First Nation says they're getting from the federal government as his grapples with a tidal wave of COVID.
I was tested positive when was that yesterday? So, and there's quite a few people besides me, like babies, elders.
More than half in the remote community of around 400 have COVID. More are isolating. Firewood, groceries, drinking water all need to be delivered. We reached a family of 5, all COVID positive by phone because internet service is spotty.
It scared me in the beginning. My daughter had the worst of it. I have to really keep an eye on her.
As I'm driving around, it's like a ghost town.
Sol Mamakwa is the local MPP. A few days ago, he toured the community and saw residents peering through windows asking if more help is coming.
I didn't see any boots on the ground.
The federal government didn't provide military support until Saturday, saying it was waiting on an official request from the province.
This box is quite heavy. It's over 400 pounds.
In the meantime, those watching from afar took action. Kenora resident Tanya Cameron is sending this woodcutter. She started a fundraising campaign and has already shipped over $19,000 worth of supplies.
I saw their pleas for things like grocery delivery to their homes, firewood, and I felt like I needed to help.
While that assistance is welcome, the ask is for more military support. The chief says his community shouldn't have to beg to get the help it needs.
So I think sometimes we tend to feel we were forgotten, that we don't matter.
The chief spoke to Emergency Preparedness Minister Bill Blair today, asking for more support. Blair turned down our request for an interview. Travis Stanrash, CBC News, Ottawa.
With testing reserved in many provinces for priority groups, we can't track how fast the virus is spreading in the community, but we can see what's happening in hospitals. The number of COVID patients in the ICU has surged more than 40% in the past week to levels not seen since last spring. Those critical cases are an increasingly smaller percentage of the total COVID hospitalizations, including less serious cases, which are roughly doubling by the week. But this number isn't as straightforward as it may seem. Hospitalizations often include not just patients admitted for COVID-related illness, but also patients admitted for other things, who then test positive for COVID in hospital. Saskatchewan is among the provinces that will report specific numbers for each, but Bonnie Allen shows us not everyone supports the change.
There's about the same number of COVID patients in Saskatchewan hospitals now as there was a month ago. But cases are expected to climb, and as they do, they'll be reported in a different way, as recently announced by Premier Scott Moe.
How many hospitalizations are being admitted that are due to COVID? And how many then are incidental cases? For example, patients who are admitted to hospital for some other reason and then on admission may test positive for COVID.
That change just came into effect. So, for example, the province is reporting 119 hospitalizations. It says 69 of those are from a COVID-19 related illness, while 38 are incidental infections with no symptoms. The rest are undetermined.
This differentiation is going to be very important to understand how severe Omicron is.
But the new system is getting mixed reaction.
I disagree with that approach. When somebody has COVID-19, even if they've got a broken leg, that changes how they're treated in hospital because they have to be isolated, etc. Or they may go on to infect others within the hospital, including healthcare workers.
It is indeed a good idea to make that distinction.
ICU physician Dr. Hassan Masri appreciates more precise information, but he doesn't want to give people a false sense of security. He warns that hospital patients dubbed incidental COVID cases can still deteriorate quickly from the virus, especially if they're unvaccinated or have a chronic disease.
Even if they don't have COVID pneumonia and they're not sick from a breathing perspective, it does not mean that it is a straightforward process. It will carry its own level of complexities and challenges.
COVID patients of any kind require extra care and put pressure on hospitals. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan.
Now let's turn to Australia, where a hearing is underway to decide whether unvaccinated tennis superstar Novak Djokovic can remain in the country ahead of the Australian Open. Jamie Strachan is tracking this for us tonight. And Jamie, where do things stand right now?
Well, Ian, much of the hearing so far has been submissions made by Novak Djokovic's lawyers. Basically, they told the judge that their client did everything he was asked to do by both Australian medical officials and government officials. It was only when he arrived in Australia, Ian, that a border official told him he didn't meet the requirements to enter the country, not being vaccinated. It was something that they weren't expecting. It really has been a chaotic week for the world's #1 tennis player since arriving in Australia. Novak Djokovic remains at a Melbourne immigration detention hotel. The Serbian superstar's presence in Australia has ignited controversy since he announced on Twitter that state officials had granted him an exemption from COVID vaccination rules that would allow him to compete. But when he arrived, federal border agents said he didn't provide evidence to justify the exemption and canceled his visa. Officials had faced massive backlash from Australians who have faced some of the strongest COVID restrictions in the world.
Rules are rules, and there are no special cases. Rules are rules.
Djokovic's lawyers confirmed he is unvaccinated, but say he caught COVID in mid-December, grounds he used to apply for exemption. It appears state and Australian tennis officials agreed, but federal officials did not.
People are welcome in Australia, but if you're not double vaccinated and you're not an Australian resident or citizen, well, you can't come.
In Serbia, Djokovic's family has spent the last 3 days slamming Australia's treatment of the tennis star. Djokovic has faced scrutiny because of his skepticism about COVID and vaccination. In June 2020, while the rest of the sports world paused, he hosted a charity tournament in Serbia with little masking or distancing. Many of his fellow players have been critical for months.
The world, in my opinion, have been suffering enough to not follow the rules.
And Ian, government lawyers have just begun making their submissions. No word on when the judge will come back with a decision, but obviously time is of the essence here. The first Grand Slam of the season, the Australian Open, starts in only a few days. It's a tournament that Novak Djokovic has won a record 9 times. Whether he'll get a chance to win a 10th remains to be seen. Ian?
All right, Jamie, thank you. And Canada is already making a strong showing ahead of the Australian Open, winning its first ever ATP Cup, the international men's team tournament that's played before the main event. Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime sealed the deal with a 7-6, 6-3 win over his Spanish opponent after teammate Denis Shapovalov opened with a win of 6-4, 6-3, a remarkable comeback for Team Canada, which lost its first 4 matches. China seems to have avoided the waves of COVID infections that have swept most of the world. But as the Winter Olympics get closer, Omicron presents a new level of danger. And today, China's stringent controls took on fresh urgency. Talia Ricci explains.
The lineups for testing were long in the northern coastal city of Tianjin. All 14 million residents will be swabbed, an extraordinary response to a cluster of 20 cases, 2 confirmed to be Omicron.
You're likely to see some level of cases that are going to be inevitable with a variant like this.
China stepping up its fight against the virus with the Olympics just weeks away. Tianjin is close to Beijing by car or high-speed rail. Residents will need to show proof of a negative test before they can travel again. Last month, 13 million residents of the northern city of Xi'an were locked down following a spike in cases. Tokyo 2020 saw hundreds of cases, though no infections among Canadian athletes. But that was before Omicron. Still, Dr. Amish Adalja believes there is a path forward for the Olympics.
The best way to make the game safer would be to have as many people there vaccinated as possible. That's going to be key. That's probably the most important thing that they can do. The next is to have testing and bubbles to try and prevent cases from disrupting the games themselves.
All Olympians, staff, and media will be contained within a bubble in Beijing. Canadian athletes must also be fully vaccinated.
As our departure time gets closer and closer, it gets more important that we don't test positive.
Athletes like Canadian ski cross racer Kevin Drury are busy preparing for Beijing. Drury placed 4th at the 2018 Olympics. He's feeling confident about his skills and the safety measures.
I feel really good. I think I've got a good chance.
The Canadian Olympic Committee says while it's monitoring the impact of Omicron closely, it's still confident they can safely attend the 2022 Olympic Winter Games. Drury is hopeful too.
As long as I can leave negative, I feel very confident that we will stay negative.
China is pushing ahead too. Opening ceremony rehearsals are already underway. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
And some sad news tonight out of Orlando, Florida. Actor and comedian Bob Saget has died. He was found in his hotel room earlier today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Saget.
Saget was perhaps best known for his roles on two major 90s TV hits, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Saget.
And Full House.
Papa. Please don't call me that.
Where he played widower dad Danny Tanner. He was also a well-known stand-up comedian and was in Florida on a comedy tour. Tonight, his Full House co-star John Stamos reacted with shock, tweeting, "I'm broken, I'm gutted, I will never ever have another friend like him." The Orange County Sheriff's Office tweeted detectives found no signs of foul play or drug use in this case. Saget was 65. It's been called an epidemic inside of a pandemic. Opioid overdoses have risen sharply, and in some communities, it's a race to reach those most vulnerable.
We don't have time to wait for data for randomized controlled trials. People are dying.
I had a lot of friends die from this stuff. A lot of friends.
A little later, a new approach to saving lives is giving some people hope. Plus, as Omicron sweeps across the country, health systems are already under deep strain.
We can't keep up to the emergency calls within our city anymore.
Next, the shortage that could leave some waiting an hour or more for an ambulance. And later.
And if I can help out in some small way by cooking in my kitchen and kids are excited about it, it's a win for me as well.
How an Alberta woman is cooking up a whole lot of fun for kids across the country. We're back in a moment. In Kazakhstan, the city of Almaty is trying to recover from a week of violent protest. The country says more than 160 people were killed in confrontations over rising prices. Sunday, the leader of the country's former security agency was arrested, accused of trying to overthrow the government. Russian-led troops sent in at Kazakhstan's request will remain until they consider the situation stable. A baby handed over to an American soldier during the exodus from Afghanistan has been reunited with members of his family. But first, his grandfather had to take the now 6-month-old away from another family who had found him at Kabul's airport and wanted to raise him as their own. Efforts are underway to get him back to his parents who fled to the United States. Back in this country, alarm is being raised tonight over a paramedic shortage in Manitoba. With COVID cases still climbing, a paramedic union says some communities are being left without a single local ambulance to respond to emergencies. And as Riley Lachuk explains, they're not alone.
They can be the difference between life and death in a medical emergency. But in parts of Manitoba, ambulances and paramedics are in constant short supply.
We can't keep up to the emergency calls within our city anymore.
Terry Browett is a firefighter paramedic in Brandon, Manitoba, and president of the Paramedics Union. He says staff shortages in rural communities mean ambulances are regularly being pulled out of Brandon up to an hour away, sometimes leaving the city of 50,000 people without a single ambulance.
It's been building for a number of years. This was even pre-COVID, but I think COVID has just really emphasized the need for some action and some staffing changes.
An internal report from Manitoba Shared Health showed ambulance services were understaffed for more than 17,000 hours last September alone, the highest number in the past 5 years. It blames vacancies, sick calls, and fatigue. The head of the Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says geography also adds to the burden for rural paramedics.
Paramedics can be hours away from where that call comes, depending on who's able to cover that region and where a primary call comes in.
It's an issue not isolated to Manitoba. Just this weekend, Toronto's paramedic union says the city ran out of crews. Ottawa had 0 local paramedics available hundreds of times in 2020. In Newfoundland, paramedic Jane Denty says she and her colleagues face the same concerns. While the majority have stayed on the job, she says it's not easy.
We just need support. We need extra manpower. I think the whole system needs to be looked at.
Our department is short every day, just trying to fill these ambulance trips.
Browett warns if staffing issues aren't solved system-wide, ambulances will be traveling further and those in critical need of help waiting longer. Riley Lachuk, CBC News, Brandon, Manitoba.
Opioid overdoses have risen sharply during the pandemic, and in one hard-hit community, it's a race to save lives.
We need to be going to find them, because the next day, if we don't find them and they want help, they could be dead.
Coming up, a new approach to treatment showing a lot of promise. COVID and opioid use appear tragically linked. Since the start of the pandemic, the rate of fatal overdoses has skyrocketed by as much as 60% in some places. One of the hardest hit has been Timmins in Northern Ontario. But this is now also a place of hope. 2 emergency room doctors have taken it upon themselves to save their home from its opioid crisis. It's an approach that's seeing some encouraging results. In November, before the Omicron wave and some of the tighter restrictions, Nick Purdon went to Timmins to find out what the doctors are doing and why it could make a difference.
We're on our way to pick up a patient, Casper, who continues to be part of our program. We'll do home visits and see patients in their home and treat them for their substance use disorder. It's not uncommon for us to do that.
Dr. Louisa Marion Bellemare is in the fight of her life. Her hometown of Timmins, Ontario is in crisis. Over the past few years, the overdose death rates here have been some of the highest in the country.
Our city of 42,000 people having death rates of higher than Vancouver, higher than Toronto. We have to change something here in our community. This is not right.
Where am I going?
Hop in. Cool. Move my boots, buddy. Move my boots, Casper. Yeah.
How's your day?
All good. Busy?
Busy?
I think the first time I met you, you came in because you wanted to stop using drugs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Casper is going to the hospital for a check-in. Dr. Marion Bellemare wants to make sure the treatment is still working.
It doesn't have to be a scheduled time.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So you haven't used opiates now in how long?
5 months. It will be 5 months now.
Yeah. When's the last time in your life that you've gone 5 months without using opiates?
I've been on opiates for 10 years before this. I feel good.
Yeah. How's life?
Good.
It's still early in Casper's recovery, but in a town in the middle of an overdose crisis, he's a glimmer of hope.
Just like I'm getting my kids back too. My kids are living with me now.
Like that in itself for you is...
That's everything to me.
Could the treatment that helped Casper represent a solution to the opiate crisis across the country? The first thing I learned is that before Dr. Marion Bellemare started her program, the hospital wasn't a welcoming place for people with drug addictions.
Before I would come here, and the doctors and nurses would just think I'm seeking for pills and just totally ignore me. Even if I was brought here with the ambulance, sometimes I would OD, and then I wake up here, I know how I'm getting treated right away, I just leave.
A major overdose crisis in the city, and people with opiate addictions weren't welcome at the hospital. Emergency Dr. Chris Loretto admits that was true.
We didn't have a formalized way of treating people with substance abuse. Okay. And so we would just sort of babysit them, give them something for their anxieties, and then send them on their way.
And even when the new approach to treating people with addiction started, Dr. Loretto didn't like it.
I gotta be honest, I was not a big fan of this program. I didn't think we had the resources, I didn't think we had the time, and I gotta be biased, I didn't think this population deserved it. I blame the patient. I thought they're in that situation because of their own life choices. You know, if they want to stop, they can stop.
Well, they must not want care.
Yeah. Well,
but some of them are
because it's a cookie cutter approach, right?
It was Dr. Marion Bellemare who helped Dr. Loretto see things in a new way.
And then you realize why I do this job. I mean, you do this job to take care of people because people matter. And I think the fact that the team is able to convince an old school guy like myself and some of my colleagues, I think is a big step in the right direction.
Making the hospital a place for people with addictions feel welcome was the first step. Another big change is the treatment itself.
All right, so Brian, this is shot number what for you?
Dr. Julie Sampson is one of the lead doctors on the team.
Awesome. No cravings, nothing like that?
No cravings.
All right, how do you feel about getting your shot now? Is it nice and frozen?
Yeah. To control the urge to use opiates, patients get a monthly injection of buprenorphine.
Let's get that going. When I'm giving the injection, I'm so happy for them because they're doing so well and they haven't died. Are you ready? A little poke.
It took courage, but Dr. Sampson and her team decided to do something that nobody else had done.
It stings a little bit, eh?
Yeah. The regular protocol is to wait a week once someone is admitted before injecting this drug. No. But in Timmins, they give the shot within 24 to 48 hours.
We don't have time to wait for data for randomized controlled trials. People are dying. We had to change what we were doing because what we were doing initially and following the protocols wasn't working.
130 patients have come through the Timmins program in the last year.
Yeah.
Brian Tomagatic says he's been off opiates for 9 months now. He tells me that when other people struggling with addiction see how well he's doing, they want in.
Yeah, they come over and we talk, you know, and they're big. Brian, how do you get on the program? I want to be clean like you. How do you do it? You make it look so easy. I say, I got someone in the hospital I can call. And they usually listen to me. I usually pay their cab to the hospital, and I'll bring them to the hospital myself just to make sure they go.
You pay for people's cabs or drive them here. How come?
I had a lot of friends die from this stuff. A lot of friends. I had like at least 20 friends around town within a short period of time, you know?
And that's the story across the country. Almost 23,000 people have died of opiate overdoses in Canada in the last 5 years. That's why what's happening in Timmins matters. Dr. Marion Belmer says the changes inside the hospital aren't enough. She believes more needs to be done out on the street.
There are still a substantial group of people out there who want to quit using drugs, but actually can't and don't know how. Those are the people we need to reach. We need to be going to find them, because the next day, if we don't find them and they want help, they could be dead.
And so Dr. Marion Belmer and Dr. Sampson tag along with outreach workers to find people for their treatment program.
At least it's warmer. This morning was freezing.
They meet William, who's deaf, and they ask him how he's doing.
So is there anything I can do for you today? Yeah?
William is homeless, but he says he doesn't need help with addictions.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you later, buddy.
Bye.
There's someone else out here on the street, following the doctor's lead, who might surprise you. The Timmins police have started to do outreach as well. Meet 20-year veteran Constable Leah Blanchette.
Oh, there's some people. Good. Anybody interested in a muffin? Sure. They have some muffins? Yes. Hi, I'm Constable Blanchette from Timmins Police. When I started, people would run away from me, and they would say to me, well, we can't be seen with you because you're a rat or you're in trouble if you're seen with the police. What's your name, sir?
Richie.
Richie? Hi, Richie. So, Richie, what my job at Timmins Police is to help people get connected to agencies who might need help with housing, substance use, alcohol use. Is there anything I could do to help you? Not at this time? Oh, Norman, hello, how are you?
If you think what Constable Blanchette is doing is a gimmick, have a look at what happens next. Norman asks for help with his drug use.
So is it often enough?
Often, yeah.
Okay.
Almost daily.
Yeah, okay. And do you think that you can go into a rehab center or a detox center and go without for a few days? Can you manage that? Yeah?
I would.
Yes, here's my business card. Give me a shout. Leah is my name. Yeah. I'm proud of you for coming and asking for help. I know that's not easy.
Thank you.
Okay, you take care.
Someone admitting they have a drug problem to a police officer. That's something else Timmins has accomplished. And Constable Blanchette has referred more than 100 people to the doctor's treatment program in the last 6 months. That's more proof that Timmins remains a town in trouble. And Dr. Marion Belmer and Dr. Sampson see that every day.
Joey!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Joey! What are you up to? Joey!
Working my ass off.
That's Joey Pro. He's a gentleman that I met actually during an emerge shift. It was a night shift. I was working by myself, and he came in overdosed, and he had received Narcan. Are you still on treatment, Joey? Or
No, I kind of stopped that, but I have to go back.
anytime. If you ever want treatment again, you know you can go to the emerge 24 hours a day, and all you have to say in the emerge is, I'm here to get help for my addiction, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That day, all the doctors could do was try to convince Joey to return to their program.
Okay.
But a few weeks later, Joey Perot died of an overdose. Solving the addiction crisis is one of the toughest challenges for any town. But Dr. Marion Bellemare and Dr. Sampson aren't giving up. And the calls they've had from all across the country about what they've done here in Timmins, that recognition helps them keep going in the fight to help their hometown. Nick Purdon, CBC News, Timmins, Ontario.
And the doctors are now hearing from other small communities asking if the program would work for them. Since we were there, Timmins has approved a supervised consumption site, partly on the recommendation of the doctors. Turning to something completely different, it has been a tough week for a lot of kids returning to online learning, but an Alberta woman is trying to make it a little easier. Coming up later, how she's spicing things up for hundreds of students. Plus,
Skinnamarink-a-dinky-dink, skinnamarink-a-doo, I love you.
not something you'd expect on TikTok, how this legendary kids classic has gone viral. Up next.
Skinnamarink-a-dinky-dink, skinnamarink-a-doo, I love you.
A little TikTok throwback. Last fall, the Canadian classic made a major comeback. With almost 5 million views, Sharon Hampson and Bram Morrison, better known as Sharon and Bram, took TikTok by storm. And after losing their partner Lois to cancer in 2015, they've reconnected with their now adult fans.
Let's spread the love with the greatest love song ever written. Join me. And 1, 2, 3, go. Skinnamarink.
If you don't know this song, you cannot be friends with me.
I love you. Skinnamarink-a-dinky-dink, skinnamarink-a-doo, skinnamarink-a-dinky-dink, skinnamarink-a-doo, I love you.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
And it's not just TikTok. Last fall, the group Sharon, Lois, and Bram released their first album in 21 years, Best of the Best Live. Sharon and Bram, join me now. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, pleasure to have you. You had big smiles on your face as you heard that video. And yet, like, you've heard that song and sang that song, I don't know, thousands of times. It still brings a smile to your face?
Always. It's a source of great pleasure.
Especially when people join us singing it. That's the wonderful thing. It's the together part.
And so a lot of that has been happening. So let's talk about the TikTok video. So, I mean, I've never had a TikTok video. I've never had anything go viral. But as you go from 50,000 views to 150,000 to 250,000 views, Sharon, what was that like?
It was shocking and thrilling, of course. You know, it makes us feel wonderful. And when we read the kinds of things that people, the comments they make, like memories unlocked, happy tears, we need this now. It's beyond thrilling.
Bram?
Yeah. Well, never thought that this would happen, but it did. And it came on to us like a flood. But when we thought about it, we realized we really have touched that many people. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. You know, Sharon, you talked about the comments. Normally, I advise people, and I try to tell myself this too, don't read comments on social media. It can be a really rough thing to do. But the comments on those videos are so touching, and I guess you've seen them, right? Like grandmothers and mothers, kids talking about the connections that song had for them back then and had for them again. Did any of those comments surprise you?
Well, they touched me. And when people refer to us as a safe place, I'm deeply touched. They say we were a safe place. And we knew that. We heard that from people years ago. And hopefully we continue to be a safe place. One of the things that we put on Facebook was us singing, I'm slowly going crazy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch. And we think that that's probably a COVID theme song.
At first, a lot of people said, you shouldn't be singing that. But you know what? It's appropriate now. Yes. We are really going crazy.
So I don't know how the Canadian music business works, but I kind of have this image in my mind that when you go as viral as you guys did on TikTok, that some music executive comes in and says, "Okay, you know what? We need to monetize this. We need to turn this around and do something with it." Did anything like that happen?
I'm standing by the phone. We don't have a lot of history dealing with music executives. We took care of our careers. We kind of managed our careers over many years. And now we have my daughter, Randy Hampson, who is managing us. And it's a good thing because Bram and I are too lazy to manage ourselves. We need that help.
Yeah, maybe I should give her a call too, because I'm kind of too lazy to manage myself.
Right.
Bram, let's talk about your new album, Best of the Best Live, your 21st album, and it features songs from different live performances, and notably, it includes Lois.
It does include Lois, and honestly, for years we had no idea that it existed. We said, hey, let's record these concerts, and we had them, the feed pulled right off the board, so it was really high-class music. And then we forgot about it until somebody, a friend of ours, reminded us, and he said, let's listen and see what's there.
And we end up with concerts from 17 different cities across North America, and we're delighted. And there was so much available music that we're planning to put out another album. So people should write to SharonLoisandBram.com, and if they have favorites that they'd like us to include, perhaps we can do that. We would love that.
Very artfully done. Sharon, now that you've mastered TikTok, maybe the newest of the popular social media, what's next?
What we're hoping for, what we're planning for, is a concert at the Great Massey Hall. After the huge number of concerts that Gordon Lightfoot did there, Sharon, Lois, and Bram had the largest number of concerts there. And we're very proud of that, and we adored playing there. What did you say, Bram?
Ever in history. And it's a long
So we're
history.
hoping to round the circle and go back there and do a final concert there.
Yeah, have you guys been to Massey since they renovated it?
No.
Not yet. We're not going anywhere in Toronto.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, listen, I'm glad that you took the time to connect with us, and congratulations on your newfound success. It's an amazing story.
Thank you. We want to let our audience, our friends, know that we're going to do a free live Zoom concert choosing some of the songs from that album on Saturday, January 22nd, the afternoons.
You see, you don't need an agent. You're doing a very good job and good for you for promoting what you guys are doing.
Got a job for me, Ian?
I don't, but I should. Sharon and Bram, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Pleasure.
The Golden Globes were awarded tonight with no broadcast or live stream, no celebrities, no red carpet. Among tonight's winners are Kenneth Branagh's coming-of-age drama, Belfast. And Jeremy Strong from Succession, HBO's dark comedy drama series about billionaire media barons. There had been talk of canceling over COVID and lingering anger over the 2021 revelations of corruption within the Hollywood foreign press and a lack of black members. Instead, they're going to simply announce the winners online. With classes out and kids once again feeling isolated, how one Calgary chef is bringing some fun online.
Ren, oh, I see your galette. It's like they're on the Jumbotron, right? Their faces light up.
The Zoom cooking class bringing kids together.
How many of you have buns that are out of the oven?
This is Canadian cook and author Julie Van Rosendahl teaching 1,000 kids across the country how to bake biscuits over Zoom in her pajamas. She's been offering free cooking classes virtually during the pandemic, something that kids who have been isolated and away from their friends and activities really seem to look forward to. And that's our moment tonight.
I heard the news that schools were not going to reopen as planned. I feel for parents. I think they're tired. You know, I've been doing cooking classes on Zoom, increased my Zoom capacity to 1,000. And I thought, that's way more than I'll need. I'll just put it out there. And if anyone wants to jump on a Zoom call and cook along, You know, it'll give some kids something to do. The first class was 1,000 kids. We capped it at 1,000. There are kids all the way from Quadra Island, BC to St. John's, Newfoundland. There are kids from Yellowknife, 3-year-olds, kids as young as 3 baking along with their parents. I just love seeing their reaction on social media, and I'm getting a lot of DMs holding up their dumplings or their pie or their cream puffs. To see that, I just love, you know, when you say their names, they, you know, Ren, oh, I see your galette. It's like they're on the Jumbotron, right? Their faces light up. I've been teary and goosebumpy, and, you know, just, it's been the best week and the best start to 2022.
Even in those still pictures, you can just see the joy. I am really hungry. I'm usually hungry, but especially hungry right now. Got to say, though, Jerry D a few days ago, dropping in on classes all across the country and these free cooking lessons for, 1,000 kids. I like this trend. Seems kind of perfect for, you know, easing some of the gloom of being separate during the pandemic. That is a national for January the 9th. Good night.